further discuss this, I'm joined by foreign policy expert Bolu Michael-Biyi. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about this.
Thank you.
Let's start this way. Now, the AU is expressing regret over the announcement by these three West African countries to exit ECOWAS. Some people feel that their reaction is a little too late and it could have been more active when it comes to de-escalating the situation from inception. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would align with the same position that it's coming a bit too late because, a house divided against itself cannot stand. I mentioned, a couple of months ago on the same program, that, this may happen, that the three West African nations are leaving the bloc, which is not good for the ideals of ECOWAS in terms of economic integration and other things that we stand for. So it's not a surprise to me that the three countries have decided to exit, but I'm surprised that the ECOWAS is surprised that they are leaving. So, yeah.
Well, the West African countries accuse ECOWAS of posing a threat to their sovereignty. But these are unconstitutionally recognized regimes. So would you blame the regional bloc for taking a stand against military coups in these countries?
Military governments are not inherently bad. Some countries have post-traumatic stress disorder from military regimes, for example, Nigeria. But a country like Burkina Faso, they would have a different experience. For example, the former president, the former leader of Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara, wasn't a democratic president, was a military man, and he did a lot for the country, and his ideals and values are what we are seeing right now. And is it really democracy if the will of the people are not being followed? When a military government has been there for a substantial amount of time and there's no opposition from the people, then it can be legitimized. It has been legitimized impliedly. So what the ECOWAS or AU could have done is to try to have them to run for elections and seek the authority of the people. Because even as democratic regimes doesn't guarantee that, the people are really choosing their leader if elections are rigged. The fact that it's not a military doesn't make it right. But we have rigged elections on the continent, and ECOWAS still doesn't say anything. So, yeah.
But then don't you think that ECOWAS was ill-advised with the penalties it hastily handed down? Because when you look at Burkina Faso, Niger, and most especially Burkina Faso and Niger, they are founding members of the bloc since 1975. So you probably would want to express caution when it comes to handing down sanctions to these countries just because, of course, a coup took place in them.
Well, I've always been of the opinion that sanctions no longer work in this, are not as effective, in this time. Things have changed. If people usually run to the US and the UK and the Western countries for aid or support, and when they, whatever they say, that if they don't align or agree with the terms of the Western world, they seem to be finished. But today, the political terrain has changed. If the US refuses, people will go to China and Russia. Countries over time develop what I call sanction tolerance. They begin to adapt to the situation. They begin to get emboldened. They get support, as we are seeing now with the three countries from Russia. And they find that they don't really need the blocs or the Western powers or ECOWAS or whatever organization they may be in, because they adapted to their situation and found a coping mechanism. So the approach of ECOWAS, threatening and military onslaught on these countries is not maybe not the best way to go. We sometimes forget that in these international organizations are voluntary organizations. They're voluntary organizations, and we need to tread softly, by employing diplomacy as much as possible. Negotiation must take place at all times against, being so strict and wanting to, impose sanctions on a brother country.
All right, Michael-Biyi, thank you so much. Bolu Michael-Biyi, it was nice talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.